welcome to tonight's episode of Beyond Focus TV. I'm Lydia Patel, and as always, I have a very special guest for you, Miss Katiana Anglade, licensed New York State salesperson. She'll be with us for the next 30 minutes, so stay with us. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. Beyond Focus TV allows you to discuss contemporary topics affecting the Caribbean people on both a national and local level. The show features informed guests who offer insight, debate, and evaluate various issues. Beyond Focus TV builds on the station's mission to provide useful information to the Caribbean people in New York and abroad. Beyond Focus TV, where our viewing audience can get educated, informed, and empowered. Welcome back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. I'm Lydia Patel. Like I said, I have a very special guest for you, Miss Katiana Anglade. Welcome to the program, because we all love real estate.
So much.
We all love real estate. And guess what? We got Katiana, our little real estate guru tonight, because that's your specialty.
Lord, that's a big hat to carry. I'll try.
You know what? Woman of color, doing it in New York, licensed and registered.
Okay.
All
right.
I think you can pat yourself on the back. But before we even get into the real estate stuff and all that, let's talk about you. Who is Katiana Anglade?
Well, Katiana is a God-fearing woman. I'm a very faithful woman. I am a mother of two. Mm-hmm. I have two sons. One is 18. One is going to be 16.
Hold on, rewind. 18.
Yeah, 18.
Look, you're fabulous, I have to say.
I'm correct. But and the other one is going to be 16 in September. They are everything.
That's amazing. So a mother, you're a professional.
Yes. I've tried so many different things, but real estate, I had my license some time ago, and then life happened. Mm-hmm. Things changed. I let it expire, of course, but then it's like when you're destined to do something, you just fall right back into it. So I fell right back into it, and it's a blessing. It's a blessing to be able to help other people and to be a resource to other people. So that is really my number one goal.
So let's talk about the journey a little bit, because I always like to hear people's journey, because everyone's story, before you get to the point where you are today, it's always like, I love hearing those stories and those little breakthroughs and all that. That really kind of gets me. It's one of those things where you really see God, and you said God, you're a God-fearing woman. I can see that. Yeah. You've had a journey. It probably wasn't even a straight road.
Absolutely
How did you even
not.
get to this point?
Absolutely not. It has been difficult. I think more difficult, I have to be honest and say that. It's been difficult because I've tried to take my own way doing things, and I've done that several times where it just ends up going right into a dead end, and then God says, okay, are you done now? Are you done trying on your own? Are you done trying around? Are you done playing around now? So can we be serious? So I've experienced that several times in my life. I've tried different things professionally, but my career has really been focused on supporting other people. Mm-hmm. And now it's starting to take a turn where, I did have that moment. I was like, I'm so good at supporting other people, and I could do this so well. I need to support myself. Mm-hmm. Like, I need to put all of my energy and my wisdom, so to say, my knowledge, into building something for myself, something that I know later on I can leave for my sons. So that's really how I ended up getting here. It happened later than I would have hoped, but all in due time. All in due time, because as it happens now, there are doors opening up for me, and God is just making so many ways where I don't even have to question it anymore. I'm like, oh, that's where we're going? Okay. Is this what we're doing? Okay. All right, God, all right, let me buckle my seatbelt and let's go.
Right, so when you actually tap in and listen to, finally, sometimes you just have to stop thinking or leaning on your own understanding, because
absolutely,
I find myself guilty of that sometimes. You can't see, you try to see far ahead, but of course we can't, so then we're trying to use our own methodologies and way of thinking, and it doesn't apply.
Yeah, if this is what I want to do, then I think that if I do this, I can get there. Or no, who told you to do that? That's not what I told you to do. Did I tell you to do that? And I have these random conversations with God all the time. So this is what happens, and he's like, no, it's not what I want you to do. Just sit back and relax and let me be a blessing to you, and that has been amazing.
And sometimes that's the hardest part, getting out your own way.
Very difficult, but in the end, when you see the outcome and you see like the blessings falling, it's just like, okay, all right, sorry, I should have listened.
But listen sooner, but
sooner than later. But it happened. So it has been one heck of a ride so far.
So how do you juggle being a working professional and a parent, a wife? You know, you had several hats that you were wearing at the same time. And that's something very, very hard that the average woman of color in our community, you know, nowadays you have to do all three of those. It's a common thing to do all three.
Right. Well, one of those hats I no longer wear. I am still a mother, obviously, and a working professional. That doesn't mean that it's easier because I don't have, you know, that partner to actually help and to live with, but I work during the day also. So I'm not just doing real estate. I work during the day. It has been quite difficult. So your time is no longer your own. Juggling is been quite difficult, and I just have to sit back sometimes and go, okay, you really need to think about this and work it out, figure it out, come up with a plan, and determine what it is you're doing and when you need to do it and how much time you have to do it before you start sinking. So I was like, I don't want to do this and feel like I'm just trying to stay afloat and I'm trying to paddle and paddle and paddle. I don't want to do that. So I need this to work. And everything really has been working. And the pieces of my puzzle have been coming together, and it's just like, okay, that worked. And I didn't even have to do anything crazy. So that it's difficult. It's difficult. But you just have to keep that mindset where, you know, I'm not going to let this overcome me. I don't want to feel drained, but I know I have to keep working and keep moving if I want to see the blessings in the end.
Absolutely.
So it is.
And
it's not
you're in
easy.
a very great field. Like real estate right now, I think it's harder than ever. You know, with so many different TV shows. And some of you watch these, you're like, you want to get that $1 million listing. You want to get that. Now, that's, of course, really a fraction of what really goes on in the game.
It's not really reality either.
It's not reality.
No.
But, you know, that's what everyone would aspire for. But kind of give us a breakdown of overall and some of the misconceptions of the craft.
Absolutely. You know, I think a lot of people, when they do watch the shows on TV, think that when they're going out to look at these houses, you know, what takes these TV shows months and months to film, they think that on our first showing or on our first outing together, we're going to see these perfectly built homes and everything is put together. It doesn't work that way. So, you know, when I meet with my customers, we have to go in with a blank canvas. Yeah, you're going to see the house the way that the previous owners or the current owners have it. That's not how you're going to have it. So you need to go in and understand that you go in with a blank canvas in your mind. Think of just the four walls, the ceiling, and the floor, and what you're going to do to it. Think of the potential that you see in this home, and then how you're going to make it your own, because it's never really going to be your own when you walk in and somebody else is living in there and they have all types of craziness in the house. But, you know, you have to go in understanding that and knowing that, no, I'm not going to find the perfect home.
And I experienced that because I recently made a purchase, and when I was going through and looking, and there was one place I loved it, but I was doing the visit while the people were still living there, and it was completely theirs. Of course, they're living there, and I understood that. And they were like, just try to imagine this. But I'm like, with all of this in there, that's a lot for me to just remove out my mind. I didn't end up going with it for other little reasons too. But the one I did go with was pretty much vacant. It was great, and I was just able to see what I could even do with it more. But I was given that same advice. You know, you have to just think about the walls, the space, just what you could potentially do with it, and make that your own.
It's not easy. It's not easy to do that because you're walking into someone else's life.
True.
And you have to be respectful while you do that, of course, because this is their home. This is where they've lived for so many years. This is their investment. You're going to make it your own investment, but you have to see how you can do that. It's not easy at all.
Well, hold that thought. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. I'm Lydia Patel. So, Katiana, let's talk about real estate in New York. Now, of course, you know, there's so many different things that are going on. Brooklyn, I think, is the hottest right now. Oh, I got the eye roll. What's going on? Let's break it down.
Well, There's a lot, but there are also a lot of benefits. And one of my concentrations is making sure that my buyers or my customers know the benefits that are available to them. A lot of people think that owning real estate or home ownership is unattainable because they just look at these huge price tags and they're like, well, how can I do that? You know, I might not have enough money saved, or, you know, I don't make enough money. I really honestly, truly, to make that step and to walk into that, or even decide that I want to be a homeowner, you have to take the right steps and do your homework. Number one. You know, you want to make sure that you get pre-approved, and you want to look into all of the resources that are available to you. There are down payment assistance programs. There are closing cost assistance programs. There are grants that are available to people. A lot of people just don't know about. So I do, you know, that is one of the things that are hottest at this point, or that should be made known to a lot more people.
Because I'm sitting here like, I didn't get offered a lot of these things.
There are income requirements, and there are rules and guidelines that you have to fit into, but
so like FHA, which you hear about FHA all the time.
Pretty much. So there are a lot of different loan programs that are available to people out there. You just have to get in with the right company, and get pre-approved from the right company, and people who are willing to take their time to review your finances and your situation and understand what it is that you're looking for. And your realtor also should be able to lead you and direct you in that right direction, or lead you in that right direction to be able to do that.
And then going through my process as well, I learned a couple of things. I ended up doing a co-op purchase,
right.
Which is a little more restrictive. So it does limit you, but again, based on what I was approved for and being one income, then it limited it. If I wanted to go to Jersey, great, I was getting so much more.
But do you want to leave New York?
But did I want to leave Brooklyn? No. So my little stubborn self ended up getting a piece of Brooklyn, but it's okay.
It's fine. And you know what? You make a very good point, because your dream house or your first house is never really your dream house. No. It's not what you want it to be and what you were dreaming of. Get my foot in the door. Get your foot in the door, get your feet wet, get settled. You have a piece of ownership of something. You're getting your return on it. You're not paying someone else's mortgage or putting money in someone else's pocket. Invest in yourself. There are different ways to do that. You don't have to buy $1 million house to do that. There are different ways to do it, and you should know that. And they should be looking into that. So there are a lot of options out there.
So things that definitely the viewers should know, that it's more attainable than people think.
Yep, it is.
Because I think a lot of people, and I've went through years before even doing this myself, people try to make it seem like it's so unattainable. It'd be your own friends and family.
Oh, yeah.
Who would be Debbie Downers on you.
Oh, yeah.
And then I just bit the bullet and blocked out all the noise. And I went and I was like, well, I'm one person. And they're like, well, you don't have any kids. You don't have a family. I want something. That's all it should be.
That's really all it takes to spark that light. I want something. Once you know that you want something, you're determined to get it, you will take the necessary steps to get it. And there are options for you out there.
That's great. So they could reach out to you if they want information on different.
Absolutely.
And we'll get your contact information a little bit later on. But that just goes to show that you could definitely get support. Yeah. Is that something that's really gratifying for you?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's not easy. Just like anything else that's great isn't easy to attain. But it is definitely gratifying to see people get what it is they're looking for. And in my experience, the customers that I've had in my last 2 closings, actually, they were looking for a while. And then when they finally got to me, you get they're frustrated.
Yeah.
They're agitated. You know that frustration. You know that agitation. So it's just like, I'm not going to find anything.
That's a fire broker.
And you have to do that. You have to be willing to do that. This is your life. This is one of your biggest investments. You need to find a person that you are comfortable working with and that understands your needs and is willing to work with you. Not willing to bend necessarily, because you want to be honest with that person.
Yes.
But of course, if you go ahead and get pre-approved and you have all your ducks in order, it makes it much easier. So by the time they got to me, they're frustrated and they're like, I'm not getting it. And then finally, when you find that right house, even if you do get a little bit of hurdles and you run into a little bit of speed bumps along the way, by the time they close, it's just like, oh, thank God. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you, because then that's what they're looking to do. You would think that who's going to be happy to take on such a large bill? No, It's not about that. It's not about that. It's about
it's yours.
It's yours. It's your family's. And it's being able to place your family in a safe place and know that they can just lay their heads down and you don't have to worry about anything.
Like, yes, I locked into 30 years. Now, am I going to be there 30 years? No. But
But you're locked in, and it's yours.
It's mine, and I have another game plan. Be like, all right, keep this just enough for East Flatbush to get that little dive and catch that, and then
it's your stepping stone.
It's my stepping
It's your stepping stone. So.
But I want to go back to the part where you were saying, you're doing showings,
yes,
and listings, and then you would actually try to get them to understand that this is not how, because what we see on TV, the homes look so beautiful and furnished.
Oh my goodness!
A lot of times, and having been to several myself, you'd be like, oh, okay, this needs work. Oh, I have to gut this. Oh, I have to do this.
Yeah.
I turned down 2 places because I'm like, I'm not in a position as a person by myself entering such a big project to be able to gut a whole kitchen and a bathroom.
Right. Oh, one of my first questions is, are you willing to do work? How much work are you actually willing to do? That is important, because you don't want somebody walking in thinking they're walking into a brand new house, and then they walk in, everything else is great, but the kitchen, but one bathroom. And then they just turn away because you didn't tell me that this wasn't like this, or you didn't tell me that this isn't good. No. Are you willing to do a little bit of work? If you're willing to do a little bit of work, then, and if they understand that, they're like, okay, they come in with a different mindset. And they're thinking, all right, listen, I'm not expecting perfection, but I'm expecting something that I can work with. I'm not going to bring you into a house that's breaking down.
Of course.
And if you walk in, you're going to go through the floors, because I'm not walking in with you. If I think we're going through the floors, I'm not going inside. But
they have those that are available,
absolutely.
and they're just either cash only. They're
precisely.
They're
more investor properties, and if that's what you're looking to do, then they are definitely available to you.
Because I've seen it right on Crown Heights, right on Utica and Eastern Parkway. There's a beautiful one that's up, and it says cash only deals. And you just call the phone number, and I'm like, oh wow, he's just selling it as is, but the whole place needs to be gutted. You can see it on the outside.
But they're ready for that. They're ready for that.
Because if you take that on, that's what you're looking for.
Yeah. That's what you're looking for. And you have the equity to do that. You have the capital to be able to put into renovating a space like that. If you don't have that kind of equity, you don't have that kind of money, then that shouldn't be something that you're looking at. You have to be honest with yourself.
And that's very good to know. And I think having those honest conversations. So when you do consultations with your clients, it's probably something that you guys could figure out and see exactly just the level that you're trying to attain. But we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. I'm Lydia Patel. So Katiana, what do you have planned for the rest of 2019 in terms of real estate and the movement and how things are going? What advice can you give to people who are trying to purchase, who might have been scared to do a purchase?
Right. I would honestly say, take your time. Don't rush into it, obviously. Take the necessary steps in getting pre-approved. Get your pre-approval so that you know that the mortgage company shouldn't be your last phone call. They should really be your first phone call. It should be your first call because you want to know how much money you can afford. You don't want to be out there wasting your time looking at houses that you really can't afford to buy. And you put an offer on a house, and then next thing you know, you can't get a mortgage. You can't get approved.
A lot of places didn't even let me without the pre-approval letter. I can even go look.
And a lot of people are offended by that. It's not for me. It's really for you. I don't want you wasting your time. And I want you to know that you can afford, let's say you're looking at houses that are only $150,000, but you can afford $300,000. So now when you look at a house that's $150,000, you think you're getting a deal? No, you might have to put in a whole $200,000 just to repair it and make it livable. So it doesn't work in your favor in the end. So you really want to take that first step. Get yourself pre-approved, look into all of your options. One of my goals for this year also is to host first-time home buyer seminars, right? Where we'll have all of the resources available to you. One of my, I just want to be able to be that resource for everybody. Not just you pick up the phone when you're ready to look and I go look at houses with you. It's got to be more than that. I want to be able to offer more to people than I can with the resources that we have. So, with the first time home buyer seminars, you get to learn things before you even start. Before you start the process, you'll learn about it. You'll understand what it takes. You'll understand what it entails, and the necessary steps for yourself. And you do it safely. You're not falling into the wrong hands, trusting the wrong person to help you find your next home. And then in the end, when you're ready to close, something happens and it blows up and you can't do it.
God.
You know, and a lot of people have gone down that route where they're ready to close, but they can't do it because somebody wasn't completely honest with them, or they didn't go to the right bank, or the bank didn't do the right thing by them. It happens. Stuff happens. So you need to know who you're dealing with. And if, especially because I'm from the Caribbean, I'm Haitian. So a lot of people run into the language barriers.
Yes.
And, you know, they can walk into a bank and they want to get something done, and they think that, you know, because they don't have maybe enough of the English language, they won't do it, or they'll shy down from that. Or they'll go in and somebody's hitting them with so much English that they don't really understand what's going on. So I strive to make sure that you have an interpreter.
Yes.
And you understand exactly what it is that you're doing and what's available to you. Because you might be missing out on a lot of things yourself. There's nothing wrong with speaking another language. You just need to make sure that the people you're dealing with
in the language that you need.
Exactly. So that's also important. And we want to make sure that everything that I do, you have that available to you.
That's amazing.
So that's
you know, it's important to do that. I think sharing the knowledge is way more important than just going and looking at places.
Yes.
I mean, by the end of my process, I mean, my agent basically held my hand. Yeah. Like, it's text messages, it's going back and forth, the emotional breakdowns, because sometimes you are not hearing back, or there's a delay.
Yes.
I was trying to close after Christmas. I was trying to close right around Christmas, and it was such a terrible time, because when you're dealing with, again, going through this for the first time, when there's a co-op, there's the bank's attorney, co-op board's attorney, my attorney, the seller's attorney. I'm just like,
there's so many moving pieces.
I was on an email chain that had 57 by that Gmail thread, because everyone's going back and forth trying to coordinate schedules. I'm like, can you just tell me when to
overwhelming?
Show up?
Overwhelming? It can be very overwhelming. Very. But, you know, once you have that right person next to you, you had a realtor who was able to help you and hold your hand through it. Sometimes you just need that. And it just makes you more comfortable. You're doing your homework, and I'm sure you did your homework. I'm sure you did what you had to do. But to have that person next to you, that is important.
Things still didn't go as planned. There are hiccups. There are still hiccups, but it's okay. You go through the process. You go through it. Now, you mentioned mortgage company. Would you prefer that over conventional bank?
You know, it depends. It also depends on how long you have, your time frame.
Okay.
Some banks might take a little bit longer to close than others, and it does help sometimes to know that there are mortgage companies that have different programs available to them. So the same thing that the bank is going to offer you, they can offer you anyway, because they work with different banks. But knowing that that person is there, they can take a little more time to help you and walk you through it, makes a difference in the world. So you're not really just calling an 800 number or customer service to deal with certain things.
Rocket mortgage.
You know, I didn't say it, you did. But that does absolutely make a difference. It's about how big the resources and how much of a foundation they have. So the right mortgage company, not just any mortgage company, but the right mortgage company definitely makes a difference.
That is going to make a difference. How do people at home get in contact with you?
You can either call me. My phone number is 516-728-4745, or you can follow me on Instagram. It's at realtor.Katiana. Or my Facebook page, Realtor Katiana. Very simple.
Yeah, I love that. And, you know, it's just so great to actually have someone who lives this, because I could tell that you enjoy this. You really do have a good knowledge, you know, of your craft, which is important, because this is it can be very, very overwhelming, very stressful. I'm sure you've seen the tears, the sad tears, the happy tears.
I have cried the tears. I have been frustrated. And I'm just like, sometimes my buyer is getting me through it. It was my last one. It was tough. You know, it was tough. There were people that weren't really playing fair. And when I was upset and I was on fire, they were just like, okay, listen, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. If it's meant to happen. And so, you work together. You build a relationship. You build a relationship with people. So it is gratifying. It's awesome.
It's amazing. How many homes do you have under your belt?
Well, right now, which I had to tally it today, within the past, actually 2019, I've made about, with everything that's closed and under contract, I'm at about a little less than 2.4 million in sales. So,
I love it.
I thought about it. I was like, oh, Katiana, okay. That's and it's not something that I was really gauging. That's not what I was gauging it for. So I was like, oh, you ain't doing too bad. but it is, you can help that many people.
Right.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, because of that, that's probably still broken out into several properties, but doesn't matter. It's still, because you rarely, like we're saying, you're not going to go get that. Hey, if you strike that $2 million place off one property, more power to you. But,
okay.
It's probably going to be broken up into smaller chunks.
Yes.
Yeah, that are more manageable.
That's what makes me a little bit happier, because I'm like, okay,
you're helping more real people.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think people at our community could relate more to that.
Yeah.
Which is great. Any final words that you really want to let everybody at home know about Katiana and how you can help them get your first purchase or second purchase?
Nothing other than I am here to serve you. I'm here to be a resource to you. And if I don't have what you need, I'm going to make sure that you get it and you have access to it. This is a wonderful thing to do, to have that ownership under your belt, and to know that you own your own property and you can give your family a home of their own. That is beautiful to me.
That's amazing. Katiana, thank you so much.
It's
been amazing.
Thank you.
And as always, if you have any questions or comments, you can send us an email at info@beyondfocusmedia.com. I'm your host, Lydia Patel. Thank you so much for watching us, and we'll be back again next week. Same time, same place. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. Stay with us.
Beyond Focus TV show wants and needs your feedback. Did we blunder? Please let us know so we can improve. Was the show helpful to you? Drop us a note so we can share the success with our staff members. Is there something you think we could do better? We welcome new ideas and new approaches to old ideas. Do you have a great suggestion? Let us know and we'll work on it. If you would like to share your comments anonymously, please send us an email at info@beyondfocusmedia.com. If you want to get in touch with the executive producer directly, send him an email at gene@beyondfocusmedia.com. We really look forward to hearing from you.